Holy shit. Another crazy AI tool has just been released by Output, a Samplepack generator. You can enter a prompt and then it will create an entire sample pack out of that. Let's try something. A thrilling Eurobeat song at 145 BPM. Now this AI does not work locally. In fact, it's not even a VST plugin. It's just a web-based application. That was too repetitive for Eurobeat, and it also tried too hard to make a thrilling arpeggiator when the thrill in Eurobeat really comes from like different things. For example, a super saw that plays some chords in an insane rhythm. That sounds too cute. Okay, this prompt apparently didn't work very well. So let's just try with something that describes the instruments a little bit better. A Eurobeat song with electric guitars and super saws. Will this be good enough? Every time you are rendering a new prompt on some server, there will be a lot of work. Currently this service is free, but I cannot imagine this staying free for a long time because this must be very expensive for the company. That's not Eurobeat. I mean, that's also not Eurobeat, but it sounded like some pretty cool cyberpunky thing. It's a weird shaker line for this rock guitar. Imagine you are in a rock band and then someone in the band is like, oh, there is a shaker missing in the song. Why don't we just add the most electronic sounding shaker of all time? That's what this sounds like to me. Eurobeat, eclectic super saw lead that also plays the chords. Alright, because that's what the super saw does in Eurobeat. It plays the chords and at the same time it is the lead instrument. I want this pack generator to understand that. No thanks. I mean, until 6 seconds, this would have been a pretty cool melody line for a pop song, I think. Then, because it didn't change the chord, didn't make it interesting after the first 6 seconds, it was, I don't know, it just lost everything that it had. Poof, poof, poof. So this one would have potential if this is just the intro. So now I'm downloading the pack and it added more content to it. Eurobeat with an eclectic 3. So it's more than just the sound that you hear on the website. The website is just a demo song or something like that. Here's the actual folder that you get, Samplepack, and now you have even subfolders for the individual things. Okay, having such an arpeggiator thing going on in Eurobeat is actually quite common. It selected a BPM for us and also a scale, no bassline. No, that's not very Eurobeat. Okay, this could be useful with some side chaining, I guess, bells. I mean, that's kind of a cool esoteric sound. It's maybe for a bridge or something. Kinda lacks a track that is just a 4 to the floor kick. Funnily, even though this folder says Eurobeat drums, there is another folder that says hi-hats and cymbals, like that was not drums. Okay, lead super saw. Now this is the most Eurobeat sound in this whole sample pack, because it has this thing where some noise pattern is being hard panned between left and right. Sometimes Eurobeat comes from a time when people were not too strict about mono compatibility, so they often just hard pan something to make it sound very crazy. You can hear that happening here as well. Also the chord progression feels very emotional, which makes me wonder why a lot of the other tracks don't really have chord progression. Like, how am I supposed to use the other tracks together with the one that has a chord progression? This could also be Eurobeaty. I gotta say, this sound, it already came up to me in multiple ones of the sample packs that I generated with this website, because I already tested it a little bit before starting to make this video. So what I assume is happening here is that the AI does not generate audio from scratch, but more like it has a certain set of synthesizers that it can use to generate sounds, and there are some predefined patches that were just described very well, so that when you are hitting generate a sample pack, then it will choose a bunch of these patches and make something with that. So I think I will take the following approach. I will just set up the correct BPM here and import only the sounds that I liked. Alright, so now I got all the sounds to work with. I want to start with the kick. The kick clearly needs some cleanup. I think it's also pretty strong in the low end. I know one shouldn't start to mix too early on, but this is just annoying me. I don't want to be annoyed while working on this early on already. So now next up we have the where is the bass. This was the bass thing, right? That's a weird bass line, and it seemed a little bit dirty as well. Yeah. So this is where I would like the peak levels to be, but unfortunately it sounds very distorted at those peak levels. So let's add a look ahead compressor. Great. So next up I wanna have some sidechaining so that it actually fits to the kick. For some reason it does have pumping sound that would, you know, highlight that there is a 4 to the floor kick, except here. But for some reason the kicks never had a 4 to the floor rhythm. So that shows that this AI is not very aware of its context yet. But the website has a give feedback link where you can give feedback. And I think I will later use that to give this feedback. For now I just want to continue and use the kick as a sidechain input. I gotta say it's not the most beautiful bass line of all time. I would have appreciated something more snappy, but well, whatever. Now what do we have here? A heavy kick. I think I like the higher sound of that. Okay, nice. Still too much clashing with the kick drum. Maybe some diopso will loosen it up. Okay, nice. Now next up the snares. So these are definitely supposed to be background snares and not the main snare, because it's like a little bit too artsy with this rhythm. Maybe this would even deserve some sidechain compression. Nice. Now I added another dynamic by having most of the snares being ducked by the kick, but just that offbeat snare not, but that offbeat snare then runs into the clipper, which is a unique dynamic that I highly appreciate here. I don't feel like these sounds fit to each other. Okay, wait up. I need this kick to go a little bit more out of the way. It's kind of distracting me from what I want to hear. I have no idea if the bass line works with a pad, but yeah, let's just take the pad for now, because I want to know if the pad fits to the Eurobeaty thing that we found earlier. Yeah, I think it clashed with the chords thingy, but this way of using it is kind of cool. Now let's go on. I'm a Barbie girl in the Barbie world. I hope I don't get demonetized for that on my first monetized video ever. It just had to be. What was that? Why did it loop so bad? What? But it's the same here anyway, so let's just loop it from here, I guess. Okay, I like this arp. Well, it needs some work, but it does work in general. It does sound incredibly wobbly in the background texture. You can really hear that it's an AI thing. I could imagine making this sort of sound like an amp though. Let's see, what can we do when we're slapping a convolver on it? Nice, so now we have a distorted arpeggiator line. That sounds pretty cool, but yeah, it is not quite what the AI gave me anymore. Especially the convolver changed the tone a lot more than I expected it to do, which is cool. Oh, that was ugly. Such a nice little bell tone and suddenly so... What was that? Why? But whatever, let's just work with it. Unfortunately, it's much too apparent that this has some ugly transients in between. We need to do something about that, but I don't know what. It's just one of these kind of artifacts that you cannot do anything about. Maybe soothe? Well, that could at least make it pretty much a background sound. Now that's a better transient texture than before. Maybe if I just find out how I have to apply a negative delay to align it with dry, it could be cool. Yeah, I'm just getting somewhere. So this really has no reason to be there. Let's just try if we can make something else with that. Maybe also the bells. Okay, it's getting somewhere. Oh no, the rhythms thing again. Can I maybe do this? Yeah, I can. This will loop better, I guess. Okay, that works. Okay, nice. Okay, I gotta say, this is a pretty cool tool. It's very limited though. All of the sounds have these weird AI artifacts in them, so you are constantly fighting against it, while the sounds in general go into a really cool and emotional direction, and I could hear how they were supposed to sound. I could not really make them sound the way they want to sound. And yeah, I think that's something that no matter how good you are at as a mixing engineer, you will always struggle with. Just AI sounds doing these random bloops in the middle of nowhere, and this AI certainly sounds better than most of these AIs, but it's still AI with AI artifacts. So I don't know, while this was a pretty fast workflow to come to a little bit of a beat sketch, I don't know how I can keep on working on that. Maybe I could replace some of the sounds with actually well synthesized sounds, but then I wonder what was the benefit of starting with this AI approach. Maybe just to get inspiration from the melodies that it gives me and the sounds, but not to actually use the sounds. It's not entirely clear yet, but yeah, this is just the state of the art in some sense, the state of this tech and my opinion on it.